Building muscle with no equipment is easier than you think. There are hundreds of excuses people have for not working out. I don't have a gym membership. I don't have dumbbells. I don't have a barbell, a bench, a cable machine, a pull-up bar, resistance bands, a chalk bag I've never actually used, a gym locker that reliably locks, a pre-workout that tastes like what the label says, a playlist that doesn't skip exactly when the beat drops, a mirror positioned at the angle that makes me look slightly better than I actually am, a spotter named Greg who never actually spots me but gives really good encouragement, or a gym crush to silently motivate me through a third set of bench press I do not need to be doing right now.
So I guess fitness isn't happening for me this year. Which, by the way, if any of this sounds like you, I completely understand. I have been this person. I still am this person sometimes. I have a degree in anthropology that I've mostly used to calculate how many chips fit in a bowl. The answer, for the record, is all of them. Here's something the $100 billion fitness industry does not want you to know, because a large part of that $100 billion depends on you believing exactly one thing, that you need equipment to build muscle. That is, scientifically, historically, and provably, complete nonsense. Herschel Walker is one of the greatest athletes in human history. Heisman Trophy winner, NFL Pro Bowler. He competed in MMA at 47 years old. 47, while most of us can't get off the couch at 27 without making a sound that belongs to a much older person. His primary training for most of his career was 1,500 push-ups and 1,000 sit-ups every single day. No gym, no barbell, no spotter named Greg, just the floor, and a level of discipline that frankly concerns me. The man looked like he was carved from something geologists haven't named yet. Or, consider this. Modern humans have existed for roughly 200,000 years. The commercial gym was invented in 1965. That's 199,935 years of people building muscle, surviving warfare, constructing entire civilizations, and generally being terrifyingly capable, with zero access to a lat pull-down machine. Roman gladiators, Greek soldiers, every single person who ever had to outrun something that wanted to eat them, not one of them had a membership card. And yet, somehow, they were absolutely built. Your body does not know what you're holding. It doesn't speak barbell. The only language it understands is tension and stress. And tension, you can generate that anywhere, including right now, including the floor you're sitting on. Yes, that floor. Get up. Now. Here's where most people silently lose before they even start. And I say this as someone who has abandoned workout plans faster than I abandoned TV shows, where episode 3 still hasn't explained what the show is actually about. Most people approach bodyweight training as a substitute, like they're using a coupon because they couldn't afford the real thing, a consolation prize, plan B, the lesser option. And that mental framing is the entire problem. You are not doing the lesser version. You're doing the original version. The gym is the substitute. Bodyweight is the source material. There's a psychological pattern called goal substitution failure, where people abandon a goal the moment the specific path they imagined gets blocked. You wanted to go to the gym. Gym is closed, too expensive, too far, goal abandoned. But your goal was never to go to the gym. Your goal was to build a body you're proud of. The gym was just one road you assumed you had to take. So here's the reframe. Stop saying, I'm trying to work out. Start saying, I'm the type of person who builds muscle. No location clause in that sentence. No equipment footnote. No Greg requirement. When your identity becomes the outcome and not the method, nothing can derail you because you don't need a specific path anymore. You just need movement, tension, and a floor. 2 of those things you already have. The third one is also you. You are the tension. This is your arc. Okay, now let's talk about how people actually fail at bodyweight training, because there are very specific, completely avoidable ways this goes wrong. The first mistake is treating reps like a race you need to win. 50 push-ups done at the speed of someone who doesn't want to be doing push-ups, bouncing off the floor, elbows flaring, soul partially leaving the body, means almost nothing. Your muscle doesn't count your reps. It measures tension and time. One push-up where you take 3 seconds to lower yourself, pause at the bottom like you're genuinely reconsidering your life choices, and then press back up. That single rep does more physiological work than 10 sloppy ones. The muscle is not impressed by your speed. The muscle is impressed by suffering. Welcome to bodyweight training. It's free, and it's horrible in the best way. The second mistake is doing the same thing forever and then blaming the method. People do 20 push-ups a day for 6 months, see no change, and say bodyweight doesn't work. That is like reading the same page of a book every day for 6 months and complaining you haven't finished it. The principle that drives all muscle growth, in the gym or out of it, is called progressive overload, giving your muscles a harder challenge over time. With weights, you add more plates. Without weights, you go slower, switch to harder variations, shorten your rest periods, pause at the hardest point of the movement, or eventually progress to single-limb versions that will make you hate yourself in a very productive way. The mechanism is identical, only the tool changes. And it turns out, The tool was optional the whole time. The third mistake is what I call vibe-based training. No structure, no tracking, no progression, just picking exercises based on whatever thumbnail showed up this morning. This is the fitness equivalent of driving somewhere you've never been with no map, no GPS, and a level of confidence that is not matching the situation at all.
Now, here's the part that almost nobody talks about, and honestly, it's the part that should change everything about how you approach this. Muscles grow in response to three things: mechanical tension, which is the muscle being pulled hard under load; metabolic stress, which is the burning, oxygen-starved misery of high rep sets; and muscle damage, which is the microscopic tearing that repairs bigger than before. A slow, controlled bodyweight exercise creates all three of those. A sloppy, heavy gym set might create 0 of the three, while also making a lot of unnecessary noise. Research comparing bodyweight training to weighted training, same sets, same effort, same frequency, has consistently found no meaningful difference in muscle growth between the two groups. The muscle genuinely did not know which group it was in. Because the muscle doesn't care about the tool, it cares about the stimulus. And here is the fact that almost no fitness content ever touches. In the first 3 to 6 months of any training program, the majority of your strength gains are neurological, not muscular. Your brain is learning to recruit more muscle fibers. It's not even growing new tissue yet. It's rewriting its own software. You do not need a single pound of external weight to drive a neurological adaptation. Your own body weight is already sufficient stress for that entire beginning phase. Which means, if you're a beginner, or you're coming back after a long break, bodyweight training will fully develop you for months before you need to think about any equipment at all. You've been walking around with everything you need this whole time. The equipment was you, which is either really inspiring or slightly terrifying, probably both. Alright, let's actually talk about what to do. Every muscle building program, gym or no gym, comes down to 4 movement patterns: push, pull, squat, and hinge. Everything else is either accessory work or showing off. I respect both, but let's build the foundation first. For pushing, your chest, shoulders, triceps, you start with regular push-ups and progress through wide grip, close grip for the triceps, decline push-ups with your feet elevated, pike push-ups for the shoulders, and archer push-ups where one arm does about 70% of the work. Eventually, you work toward the one-arm push-up, which is less of an exercise and more of a statement about who you are as a person. For pulling, your back and biceps, one honest truth: a $15 to $20 door frame pull-up bar is the one investment worth making. No gym, no monthly fee, hangs in your door frame, will make you better at nearly everything. If you can't do one yet, start with dead hangs and inverted rows under a sturdy table. No shame. Everyone starts somewhere. I started with dead hangs for 2 weeks and felt both humbled and personally attacked. For squats, you go from bodyweight squats to Bulgarian split squats, one leg elevated behind you, an exercise that files its own police report, and eventually pistol squats, which are single leg squats to the floor and back up. The first time you attempt one, your ankle, knee, and ego will submit a joint complaint. For hinge movements, hamstrings, glutes, lower back, single leg Romanian deadlifts, glute bridges progress to single leg, and Nordic curls if you can anchor your feet. Nordic curls are unspeakable. Do them anyway. A simple place to start is 3 days a week. On Monday, 4 sets of push-ups taken 2 reps short of failure, 3 sets of bodyweight squats, and 2 sets of dead hangs or inverted rows. On Wednesday, 4 sets of decline push-ups, 3 sets of split squats on each leg, and 2 sets of glute bridges with a pause at the top. On Friday, 1 all-out max set of push-ups, everything you have, some pistol squat practice even if you fall, and pull-ups or inverted rows for as many quality reps as possible. The only rule is this: every week, get 1 more rep in at least 1 exercise compared to last week. That's the entire progressive overload system. It sounds too simple. It works anyway. Now, you still need to eat enough protein. No program, with equipment or without, bypasses basic biology. Muscles need raw material to repair and grow. Training is just the instruction. Protein is the ingredient. For building muscle, aim for somewhere between 0.7 and 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I know that sounds like a lot. It is a lot. But if you start early, protein powder and collagen in the morning, a protein-forward lunch, a real dinner, you'll hit the number without spending every meal feeling like you're preparing for some kind of winter. Also, drink your water. A lot of cravings are just your body being disappointed in your hydration. Don't be the person whose body is quietly disappointed in them. I am that person constantly. Don't be me. Subscribe, but don't be me. Here's the thing nobody ever says about training at home, and it might be the most important thing in this entire video. The real advantage isn't the money you save. Although, yes, also that. It's the removal of the friction barrier. Behavioral science research on habit formation shows that reducing the number of steps between you and a behavior, even by just one step, can dramatically increase your follow-through rate. Going to the gym requires getting dressed, commuting, finding parking, dealing with other humans at various levels of sweatiness, waiting for the equipment you need, and commuting back. That's 5 to 7 decision points where you can, and often will, bail. Bodyweight training requires standing up, one decision point, one barrier between you and the behavior, and that one barrier is exponentially easier to clear than 7. Gym dropout rates average 50% in the first 3 months. 50%. Half of everyone who joins a gym stops going before spring. The training method you actually do 3 times a week beats the optimal program you do twice a month because the commute was inconvenient that day. Consistency is the only variable that matters in the long run, and the most consistent thing you'll ever do is something you can do right where you already are. The best workout is the one you won't talk yourself out of. Look, I know you came into this video thinking bodyweight training was the backup plan, the off-brand option, the thing you do when the real thing isn't available, like drinking decaf because the coffee ran out, or going to bed early because you ran out of reasons not to. I get it. For a long time, I thought that too. I thought real fitness required a building you paid to enter, machines with names you had to Google, and a stranger named Greg, who was technically your spotter, but was mostly just there for moral support. But here's the truth I want you to leave with. There is no backup plan. There is only the plan, and the plan was always your own body. No machine required, no membership, no perfect conditions, no perfect time, no perfect version of yourself that finally has his life together enough to get a gym membership. Every slow push-up in the dark when no one is watching. That's not a substitute. That is you building something out of nothing. And there is nothing more human than that. You've been carrying the equipment your entire life. You just needed someone to tell you it was enough. So close this. Get on the floor. You already have everything. Please subscribe. I have a degree in anthropology, and the floor is currently the only thing supporting me financially and literally.